Hi, Kevin Coop here, and this is FaceTime with the Content Guy. So a couple of weeks ago, I did my FaceTime commentary from the campus of the University of Florida at Gainesville, where I'd gone because they have a class in which they're using the book that Michael Sansolo and I wrote, The Big Picture, Essential Business Lessons from the Movies. They're using it as a textbook. And I couldn't resist the opportunity to be there. And I was really thrilled about it, not just because they're using our book, but because I really love the idea of the university having honors classes in which they're really pushing students to think about the world differently, think about their own worlds and the outside world differently. They want them to see things through a different prism. So they create these classes with unusual readings and get them to take them. And it's really kind of interesting. And I had a great time there. What I didn't mention when I was doing that commentary is that I couldn't resist. And while I was there, I gave them a homework assignment. And what I asked them to do was, and I've done this with a lot of groups over the years because it's fun and it's kind of it helps illuminate an issue that I think is important. I've asked them to write an essay about who would portray them in the movie of their lives. And that's really kind of an interesting to do when you think about it, because it forces you to consider, first of all, how you see yourself, how others see you, and how your idealized self would be. And you think of it in terms of an actor or an actress, and it forces you to think about the gaps that there may be between how you are, how you're perceived, and how you would like to be. And it's always sort of fun. And they turned in the essays, and Dr. Alan Wysocki, who's teaching the class, was nice enough to send them along to me, and I'd like to share some of them with you. I think they're kind of interesting. Let's see, one young woman named Anne Hathaway, and she mentioned specifically the character that she plays in The Devil Wears Prada. And the reason this character appealed to her was that, that character goes through the movie discovering, while she's very focused on work, she discovers that work-life balance is very important to her. And listen, I think that's something important for people to know about themselves. If work-life balance is important, they have to choose jobs and careers where that need, that desire can be satisfied. For example, you wouldn't want to go work for Amazon, where Jeff Bezos famously said that if you are concerned about work-life balance, you must not like your work very much, right? You have to choose carefully where you're going to go. One fellow said Matt Damon, and he said the reason he picked Matt Damon is Matt Damon seems to make two kinds of movies. One where he's off on some kind of adventure and things are kind of different and he's experiencing different kinds of things. And the other in which he is faced with a problem that he has to solve. The Martian, I suppose, would be an example of both of those themes going into the movie. And he said he liked that because that's something that he likes in his own life. He likes to go off on adventures. He likes to be faced with new situations, and he likes having complex problems to solve. Well, again, if you see yourself that way, it ought to dictate you, especially if you're a college sophomore, junior, senior, what kind of job do I want when I get out of school? Another said Amy Poehler. And she said that because her character on Parks and Recreation is so passionate and optimistic and lovable and a little bit dramatic. Again, a good thing to know about yourself. From another, Tina Fey, who's described as being both chipper and sarcastic, but uses humor to bring people together and solve problems. Now, she also liked Tina Fey because Tina Fey's a self-proclaimed nerd who seems to have embraced that definition of herself. I think sometimes for nerds, that's a little bit difficult. She found the idea of Tina Fey as being entirely, appropriate for her own life. That's who she wants to emulate. Now, there were lots of others, and they were all excellent because answering the question, who would play me in the movie of my life, forces them to look at the world in a different kind of way. Now, I also learned something else from this because one of the essays mentioned an actor I'd never heard of, Bethany Joy Lenz. I have no idea who this person is. I think she might have been on something called One Tree Hill, which I have never seen. But the thing is, if I have to understand as a leader and a manager that sometimes the people who may come to work for me may have a different kind of cultural reference and world references than I have. And if you're going to kind of communicate with these people, you have to find common ground. You just can't assume that they're going to come to you, and you shouldn't have to go all the way to them. But if you don't find common communications ground, all you're going to end up with is miscommunication, and that's never good for business, not to mention personal relationships. So thanks to the students down at the University of Florida for writing these essays. They're terrific. I hope they're enjoying the book. I hope they're enjoying the class. And let me tell you something. If I can figure out a way to get back to Florida this semester, I'm going to see them again because I think they were wonderful. And well, that's what's on my mind this Thursday morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.